Where guys, am I actually? Oh, it says I'm live. I'm alive. It's alive. It's alive, guys. I never get to, don't buy, all of you who are, all my fans out there. Don't think I came on here to get personal with you. I know you got a lot to get off your chest with me. So I'm gonna be too busy not looking at the live chat to be to respond because I have a life, all right. But I just figured, guys, like honestly, this is as always for me because I don't know how storage works on my phone on my devices. So I figured this was the best way, but also because it's like the Last Supper, because tomorrow I don't know what it holds. So I got in typical fashion. I did not break any laws crossing the street. I made sure there was a crosswalk. If if you know anything about my story or anything, my Puerto Rican associate nearly went to the big house yesterday for obstructing justice um of what I don't know, but he walked somewhere he walked in a way he wasn't supposed to. And I learned not to like I my only options where I'm at are Taco Bell and Dairy Queen and without crossing any kind of street. So I'm tired of Taco Bell for now. So I was like, let me go to Dairy Queen, right? So I know, like, I'm not being a tyrant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to draw any more attention to all the troubles I've already caused. I don't mean to cause so much trouble, guys. So I went to Dairy Queen, but I was nervous because there was first of all it's bright, and secondly there's a lot of people, and third, I don't fucking know what's on their menu, and I was trying to be, and I'm on budget, okay, I'm very tight budget. So Wendy's was right across the street, but I didn't know like there's no signs that say no crossing. I feel like it's kind of a setup. Police of Elmira, Officer Young in particular. I feel like you're kind of setting this up. It's like you have private property, but you don't post no sign that says it. So, like, oh, when somebody walks on there and you shoot them, technically it was private property, but how am I supposed to know? you know? Or how is my Puerto Rican associate or anyone crossing the road supposed to know they're not supposed to do that? There should be some kind of like, guys, jaywalk. I guess maybe the lesson. Maybe I went on live streams to like let anybody know. So just like in case you don't risk your life going walking outside. Um, like you don't want to be no thug crossing the street. Jaywalking. It's not an urban myth, but it's a very gray area loophole myth, non myth. Because really, how the fuck are you supposed to know that? Like where you can and can't cross. There really needs like no crossing would be a great way to prevent that. But I suspect, like I said, it's like, hey, this gives us right to stop you for this technical loophole so we can see how many other loopholes we can swindle around you, you know? Kind of like this Wendy's Frosties loophole. Like, is it ice cream or is it a milkshake? Because I can't drink it with a straw, guys, and I tried. Um, I've been hell bent because I just don't like opening this hop to have to eat it with a spoon. I want a milkshake, but by the time you let it melt down to that level, it's not appealing anymore. So you have to eat it with a spoon. There's no. I want to know. I want to know if any of you tough guys out there have actually drank a freshly provided to you Wendy's frosty with a straw because you're tough. You're a tough guy. Did you go to police academy with Officer Young? No disrespect. He was goofy. I appreciate your goofiness, Officer Young. You know, he's just doing his job, I suppose. But really though, guys, to vent a bit about that, because as you may or may not know, my situation where I was in a homeless hotel program and because I am deemed sane and workable, I got this weird thing where like seem to have gotten punished more for that. Like, it was only like a month's time before it was only a month's time before of me being on cash assistance. I went from August to December not receiving any, okay? No cash assistance, just EBT, and that didn't kick in until like I think it was October. So EBT, for those of you who are wealthy and like living in mansions in Texas or California or wherever, like EBT is basically a government card they give you for like to buy food um, for us pro folks. So so a month's time, and they make you apply for jobs, which that's not a problem. But it jumps from 20, and now I'm saying apply, okay, not search and like say, hey, these are jobs that I want to do. No, apply to 40 per week. Okay, do you know what that does to a gal? That's not insane. Like, because you do this thing where like you apply to a job and you actually try to care, so you like imagine your life like with that job, right? Like, how would this work in my life, this job that I'm applying to? I don't just like apply and like, yeah, this is gonna work. I don't just apply to like but to make 40 jobs, it starts to become that way. So like, but you still are trying to make sense of like the jobs that you're applying to, but you want to make this number of 40, on top of which you have multiple appointments per week um, to attend, which is fine. But here's this law breaking thing, because I've mentioned, not to my channel, anyone on my channel, but like I don't drive, and most people in a homeless hotel program don't. It's either because they don't have a license or they don't have a vehicle. Sometimes both, as the case is for me. So you do this weird thing where you take the bus, right? But after what happened yesterday to my associate, my Puerto Rican associate, I didn't realize I was breaking the law going to this workforce program. So what am I supposed to do? Like, what is anybody in that situation supposed to do? Now like Jake, for instance, he gets a taxi paid for to pick him up and drive him to and from the methadone clinic, so he doesn't go through withdrawal while searching for more fentanyl. But me, like, because I'm not an addict and I'm deemed workable, I don't get those kind of privileges. So I don't have an option for like getting to these jobs. So like, I don't know, guys. Like, just I guess if you don't hear from me, it's because I did something. Like I might be in the big house again for walking to my like appointments. Well, I don't have any right now, but it would be a plausible scenario. Thank God I never got caught. You know what I mean? Like this whole time I've been walking and singing. No wonder why I'm on a terrorist list. I'm sitting there just breaking the law, balls, like singing culture club, like like singing culture club, like challenging the law. Like, and what are you gonna do about it? Yeah, I'm walking across the street, breaking the law, and singing, rocking out to culture club. What of it? Arrest me. They haven't yet. What is it about me that has you're too scared of? Oh, what? You can only pick on the brown, the Puerto Ricans, my Puerto Rican associate. That's fucked up. But like, so guys, I don't think I broke the law tonight to get this Wendy's because my last supper, because um there were strips, like there were walking strips. I don't know exactly what, like these white lines. Okay, it was a corner. Like, if anybody, all of you, I can't keep up with all the comments. It's hard to answer all of them, but like, please, somebody out there, like, message, like, comment and tell me, like, this was legal, right? Like, there was a light. It was like an I guess you could call it an intersection with a traffic light, and then there were like white strips along the end of where I was standing, so all the way to the end that I needed to get to. So I don't think I broke any laws. and I was able to get Wendy's. But guys, it's not like that all the time. So yeah, this whole time. So like when I have my fair hearing, um, about this homeless hotel program, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say, well, like according to Officer Young, I'm not even allowed to walk. I'm not even allowed to cross the street to get to the bus to get to these appointments. So what am I supposed to do? You know, can you pay for a taxi like you do, Jake? To go to the methadone clinic so that they can not continue to use fentanyl. I don't know. Is that what do I need to become addicted to fentanyl like to not be harassed all the time? Is that it? No, I don't think it's such a lame drug. I was talking to my mom about fentanyl, guys. Like that's coming from a former heroin addict, okay? And it's lame. Like it's such a weird drug. Like because it's not really like you have all the like negative side effects of what like of heroin. Excuse me, because it's like the new scary. Like oh, please no, don't associate us old heads, us old dope heads that have recovered with this new generation of fentanyl. It ain't the same, all right? It's lame. I don't like my guys. I've talked to you about drugs and like my dad was a heroin addict and how it's kind of romanticized, or at least it was in like movies, or at least in my head. Um, but heroin in the past, like okay, my dad grew up in the Bronx. He was born and raised in the Bronx. He was born in 1952. So that era of like heroin use is kind of romanticized, right? Because it was like kind of like how cocaine in the 80s was, like that kind of vibe. Like cool. It seems cool. Like look at look at all of the entertainers and stuff that have come out like from heroin addiction, right? So at least they represent. But I don't expect any of that stuff from these fentanyl heads or whatever, like Fenty head. I don't even know what you guys would call yourself because the name itself is fucking lame and it does nothing. I've noticed, and I ain't look. This is my last ever, so I ain't on trial here. But I'll just say this, right? I ain't the one to gossip, but what I've noticed about fentanyl is you pretty much get all the negative side effects of like what heroin would do without any of the benefits and just wanting more. So it's lame again, I guess in short. So any of yous out there, like I said, if you are struggling with fentanyl addiction, just understand you're lame. It's lame. It's lame. I don't think heroin exists any. I don't know, not from where what I've noticed. Like, guys, you think I'm gonna be in a homeless hotel program and not be like still be aware of the drug world or whatnot? No, it's fucking lame. It's so weird. It's like they do it, and like they just that's all it makes you do is just want more. There's not even like, yeah, every drug does that, right? But there's like some kind of perk, like there's some kind of pro to the con. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna go through withdrawal, but at least like I have euphoria right now. Like I don't notice that in any of you Fenty heads or whatever the fuck you call yourselves. I don't know. Just call me. I'm a frosty head. You know what I'm saying? Like I refuse. I refuse. I ain't no bitch. I'm gonna. I'm. One day I'm gonna drink a frosty with a straw, and I'd like to know who out there, what other tough guy can do that? Because you're my match. But yeah, like guys, I thought about that. Like, oh my god, this whole time when I've been doing the right thing in this program, I've been breaking the legal law. So which one, like, where am I? Like, where am I safe to like live and dwell? Right, like where I'm not bothering anyone or breaking any um legal law or any like other person owns me law. Do you know what I mean? Like I just want to make everyone happy except myself. So where can I go to do that? Because it seems like everywhere so far has been, this is what happens. So but that's why, guys. And the other weird thing is like as far as this like fair hearing housing thing, uh well, let's talk about fair hearing and housing. Let's talk about unfair housing. The whole reason I'm even homeless was in a homeless hotel program in the first place was because like yes guys, I did live in subsidized housing. I've mentioned that where like they charge you a certain percentage of income. Um for your rent. Now, Joe and I used to live in one of those together. The one I got booted out of for somehow my rent being $66 a month, and between January and May, accumulating $1,000 in back rent. Um, I'm no mathematician or maticianologist or whatever it is that you guys that are smarter in numbers, refer to yourselves as. But I don't see how that like even happens. But it did, guys. It did, and it was just me being that, just that bad girl. Like I don't give a fuck. Like bad girl, like like Greaser Sam. Like what's the ones? What are their names in What are their names in Grease? The girls. Like well, like what? Oh, hang on, guys. I don't feel like looking. You guys, Greaser girl, right? Like yeah, I vape. I vape. I jaywalk. I drink my frosties with a straw, or at least I make you think that I do. It just looks. You don't know if I'm actually getting any, but that's what like you don't mess with me, all right? Don't mess with me. So, but yeah, like I'm not no mathemologist, so yeah, you guys know more than that. But so that's why I'm in the. I just don't give a shit. It's like yeah, what? Like rent rent owes me. You know what I'm saying? In my world, that's how I was looking at it. Like rent better give me money. But yeah, so that's why I ended up in this situation that you kind of are aware of out there world today. Like yeah, like that's what happened. And then at some points you just stop giving a shit because to keep arguing with reality, like you have to keep defending reality. It gets tiring, guys. It gets tiring. For instance, today I called regarding this current fair housing hearing that I'm in the middle of, right? To go back into this homeless hotel program, or not even really to go back, but to prove a point is like you guys lie. You do because I called them today because strangely, whatever. The point is, they had the wrong number on record. I've shared my phone number with you. It's 607-703-1996. And they called me fine on that last Wednesday, and there was an adjourned, excuse me, continuation of this complicated case of mine of facts versus not facts. And so today she asked me on the phone, like, and your phone number is 607-713-1996. And there was like a break in the convo, like an echo, right? Or something, like she was on a cell too, which is kind of weird for like a government office. But um, yeah, so at first I just was like, yeah, and then I repeated my number. She's like, well, which one is it? Because the one you said yes, but then you said a different number, and I said, well, I one number off. I just kind of thought maybe like I was mishearing, like like because of that gap in the convo, like the echo. And it's so like, guys, this is in what world? Okay, first of all, most likely however this number got wrongly recorded. First of all, why would my number, like, what happened from last Wednesday when they called the correct number until this Wednesday? What happened where they would have had to like re-enter info? Now, stranger, excuse me, or more strangely, is like when you look at electron, most likely they typed that, right? Okay, most likely, and I'm gonna cover all grounds here. Because like I say, I'm used to being an attorney for myself. When you when you're a victim of narcissistic parental abuse, I've said this. I'm trying to upload the video. I had some real good points there. You're kind of just trained to become an attorney for yourself. Who the judge is, I said, I don't know. I mean, your own self somewhat, and this person constantly judging you that shouldn't be. But so you get some like yeah, that's why I would be trained in law, guys. I never like me. Do I come from? Do I come from a like a very classy like line of like ballet lawyers? I don't know. Ballerina lawyers? I don't know. But that would be why I have such a like lawful way of dissecting things, because I'm so used to having to do it for myself over the most redonkulous scenarios. So okay, so my number was wrongly inputted into the system. Why it needed to be re-entered when it's already a case, I don't know. That would be like that they would have to explain that end. But for whatever reason, it was mistyped, most likely. The thing is, it's such like I want to say I'm not the judge now, and I'm not an accuser. I'm theorizing, right? Like cuz I'm trying to see like am I I don't am I being accused, like am I wrongly suspicious in the situation of my number being wrongly shared on a record that already is a record. Sam, like be fair for once. I know you're badass, like maybe if you just stop slurping, maybe if you actually used a spoon with your frosty instead of trying to be all tough and use a straw, you'd be more focused on the facts. Like, no, Sam, it's not suspicious at all, because 0 and 1 on any digital like thing that you're typing are they're always closely connected, are they not? I mean, I do see here on my laptop, um excuse me, there is a zero. This is a strange keyboard because it's like it's rectangular, and the numbers go, it's only numbers and like some symbols, and it's like this: 789 slash, then next line 456 star or asterisk, underneath that 123 dash percentage, um underneath that, and we're going left to right, my left to right, like if you were to be looking at it. So then zero period enter plus sign equal. That's rare, guys. Like that's a weird keyboard, because the numbers, like, yeah, like 0 and 1, like usually any kind of office, I've done office work. Now I know I've been out of work because I don't want to work for things in life, guys. I like leeching off the system. But when I did office work, which kind of my thing, right? Like this organization, this it's so weird, like how like bad girl, like girl, don't like my little secret, little bad girl greaser, Sammy secret is like I actually like organization and things to make sense, like. But I just play this tough. I play this tough, don't care, So it's like people think I'm cool, right? But I actually like things to be orderly, organized, and sensical, right? Now, sensical, apparently, and what I've learned in this world is that's a very open to interpretation. So sensical is a very subjective term, guys. It really is. No matter what you're talking about, as long as it suits your benefit and not someone else's, it's open to interpretation. Okay. So again, my phone number, to reiterate, is 60, or was I don't know, the 607-703. All right, and it was saved for some bizarre reason, needing updating in an already existing case as one by accident. So that's how lazy. Okay, okay, this sounds like I'm accusing, but if you were to lie, right? If you were to lie and be like, "Hey, we're gonna say, Sam, make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ready, like at this time for this phone call." And whoopsie daisy, something happened along the way where the number was misprovided for, not by Sam, but I don't. Is that the implication? I don't know, guys. Sometimes I do confuse 0 and 1. They're very similar in basically all sense, like looking wise, mathomolgy wise, um, basically any way you can think about numbers. 0 and 1 can be confusing. So I don't see how you would even have that as a typo, being that typically in office work you're using computers where they're literally on the opposite end of the spectrum of numbers. Except for this weird bizarre one I have here on my Asus laptop, but I doubt that's what they're using in a government agency. So, I mean, even in phone, right? Like, let's double check before I say something. Before I eat my words, or slurp them with or try to. I don't want to slurp on my words like I do these Wendy Frosties, with a straw. 'Cause that hurts. That hurts, guys. That it really does. It hurts. You try like I mean if you can't do it, if you're not a tough guy like me, but in the beginning I could see why people would think it hurts. Well, let's see my phone key. Like let's see, right? Like you're dialing, right? Dial pad. Yeah, like zero. Look at that. Zero. Like there's no way. Like and even if you were writing a phone number down, right? Well, I heard one instead of zero. Like you didn't even try. Like you're just lazy. Like you, guys, the better way to go about it is right. Like let's see. I'm gonna do this on a whim. I'm gonna lie on a whim, right? Okay. Let's see. If I wanted to like mistakenly write down this number wrong, or like type it or write it wrong, hear it, right? Hear it essentially, and like share back out. I would say, okay, like, okay, 607-703-199, or okay, see, I can't lie. I can't, it's not in me. I can't. All right. 607-703-199. There's really like, okay, like, how would you, if you wanted to really look like, oh my God, like it was like maybe the phone was, like bad service, right? Certainly not 0 and 1, like 713-703. See, like one even, there's like the same, at least have the same syllable. Okay, guys. All right, I'm gonna teach you. Even though I can't lie, I encounter it on such a frequent basis. I pretty much can. I'm a good liar in theory, right? Like if you need me to lie for you on paper, I could probably like I could do that. I wouldn't because I don't like lying, but sadly I'm good at lying in like theory, right? Because kind of like detective work, they say like, oh, you have to like in order to be a detective, you have to pretty much think you have to think like a criminal, which means you either were one, are one, or you're surrounded by them. Okay. Me, it's just the latter, just that last part of I can't speak for others, but I can tell you, yeah, like if you wanted to lie, that would be a bad one to say one instead of zero. That just shows lazy. That's lazy. Like talk about not wanting to work for like talk about like not wanting to work for like your foods and stuff. Like geez, that's not the pot calling the kettle black, or I don't know. So some person calling another person the thing that they are, basically like stop using, like there's no pots involved, it's people. Okay. That's some kind of person trying to make me out to be like this, like again, like this flake. But this is the shit I deal with, guys. This is why I'm over it. So like, yeah, I'll stop caring at some point, because it's like I guess that's what they want, right? So to like, oh yeah, like give up, or it's never gonna come down. Like, I mean, how far are you gonna eventually eventually I'm gonna find a spot where like people agree on what reality is, to the point where like we're not, like I said, it's the Mandela effect. Take for example, like, what? I thought you were John, and now you're Samantha. Like it's never gonna be like that. So I don't know. Like I don't like that world, guys, and I'm open minded to a lot of shit. But I always told you I travel the cosmos, but I always come back around and like down to reality. And yes, you can kind of like that dress, right? Like is it purple? Is it blue or is it gold? Like yeah, guys, like those things they kind of aren't like, we're never going to see everything exactly the same, as far as like especially the stuff like that, like colors. But I don't know if colors actually get you in legal trouble. Well, they do, but not blue and gold. Not blue and gold, not blue and gold. But anyhow, so like yeah, like that was just a lazy lie on your guys, and like it doesn't even make sense. How would you even write? You wouldn't hear it that way, speculatively, right? I'm saying theoretically, if I was to be like, how can I set this girl up for failure, and not make it look like that's what I did. um, whomever this would be, or whichever agency or office would, I suppose the one going against me in this hearing, right? So, because like the state of New York itself wouldn't give a shit, right? Like unless they're all in on like, yeah, okay, now I sound like I do. Now I sound like I do theoretically, speculatively, right? Um, I'm taking and Wendy's, you're referring to your shit as feedback. I think, see what I'm saying? Where back to this detective work of reality that I find myself constantly like investigating and fight and like, um, I constantly just find myself in a court of law with reality and everyone in it who like, because here's I'm not crazy, guys, because you guys would have put me in if I were this insane, right? Where I'm just like, see, this would is what would potentially drive the insane people insane. Is that I'm not, and I'm not to the point where why hasn't anyone at this point, right, close to me, um, been like pulled me aside and been like, worded it in a way that wouldn't make me go all Hulk, right? And insane. Wacky Sammy. Yeah, we're scared. We're scared to tell her the truth because we're so kind. We're so kind and nurturing to her feelings, and sometimes somehow at the same time terrified of her reaction of the truth that she loves so much. She's always claiming she loves the truth, but if we tell her, she's gonna go wacky. Guys, if I really was like all you would have to do, I mean, even just a YouTube stranger didn't. Well, no, because you guys don't. know. You say it in a way you think, yeah, because excuse me, all of a sudden the world is concerned about my crush on Aaron Bruno and my fucking mental well being. Like, give me a fucking like. None of you's ever fucking cared, and now all of a sudden the world is concerned about like, back rewind a year, like this Aaron Bruno crush and and my mental health, but then help me, help, help, because the way you go about it is bizarre, I gotta say. But again, it's like, no, maybe that is it is my problem. But the point is this: I would be, I don't want to be that person, like, hey, like, Sam's saying like zero isn't one. Like I'm getting kind of concerned, like maybe we should have a chat with her, because she eh, she's going out in the streets saying that they're two different things, things like that, Um, so like, hey, let's maybe we should find a way to pull her aside and be like, Sam, we know you're gonna Sam, we know you've been like Sam, we know you have trust issues because you're just insane and paranoid for no warranted reason. You know, um, we know you have trust issues because you're just tough and detached, Sam. So it's hard to get through to you, but we care about you, and we know you. We don't want this to sound insulting, right? But we want you to maybe go to a place where you can get help because you aren't seeing things the way the rest of us are. And clearly, if you went to such a place, they would see too that you're not seeing the same reality we are. So please, like, would you consider going? Like, why hasn't that happened? And that's weird, right? Like, or is it just me? See, it's not easy being me, guys. It's really not. But yeah, like, so if I was that crazy, this would have been the reason I'm not in a psych ward or anything, guys. I'm to the level and extent of gaslighting that has been um, cooked up in my reality to remain this grounded in reality and be like, hey, zero isn't one. I'm pretty sure, guys. And no, it really is. It happens sometimes. Sometimes, sometimes zero can stretch out so far it looks like a one or something. Oh, that's plausible. Then I would own up to that and I would go seek the proper help. But it's like, or at this point be forced into it, right? Like wackadoo say, la la, like don't when you you don't dare interrupt my la la looing around on the ground. Or maybe that's why I was knocking on doors at 2 a.m. Just asking people like, am I like, do I need to go to a psych ward or asylum? And everybody on the streets would say yes, but then I'd go and they'd be like, so what's up, Sam? Like, why are you here? And I would say, well, everyone around me is saying these things, but I feel like it's these things. And they would say, like, well, list some examples. And then I'd list those examples and they'd say, I don't know. In what I feel like in the correct reality, they'd be like, oh, like, who are these people? Like, can we have a family meeting? Like, I think they're like, you don't belong here. That's why I've never been put into any kind of psych ward officially. On documents, I don't know, guys, but no, I've never actually been to any fucking psych wards or nothing. I've never volunteered myself because I've never felt it that crazy to that point where if it felt like a truly a threat to my own well being or not. My issue with mental illness is the fucking anxiety of being in this weird in between world where I don't have a normal life, guys. So anybody watching and know who's aware of me fucking knows that. Okay, so you got to pick one. This weird in between worlds that I'm in, it doesn't do me any good, and it's not really apparently doing anyone any good because I'm just letting it all out. So what are we gaining here? Like let me go or lock me up. Whichever one suits me best. Okay, excuse me, but so yeah, sorry if I, oh man, I hope this is live too. I can't undo this. And I was trying to have such like a perfect persona, of like not being crazy and like scary. But where was I can I blame this Wendy's like this biggie bag? This biggie inflate your like biggie ego. You just inflate into this super Hulk character that's so scary. But yeah, guys, that's why I always seem like a flake, because I'm constantly having to battle reality. Like, and it won't make me give up to the point of like, you know, um, give up. Give up to me currently means like just not being dependent. The irony or the tragedy, whatever you want to refer to it as, I guess really both. Everything's open for interpretation though, guys. Everything. That's why everything takes long. That's why nothing ever gets accomplished in this world. That's why we are like not going anywhere because we're always having to stop and be like, whoa, like there's just been this tis confusion, like more so than ever, you know. Like I said, maybe it wasn't. Maybe the Mandela effect, maybe it's more than just Berenstein and Berenstain, or um, some weird attachment to Sally Fields. But, really it is. Like, no, you were John. That's the next step, guys. That's the next step, right? Like, I'm going to go, well, the tragedy and the irony is this: I've always been independent minded. I've never felt like it was me who was codependent, okay? Call me a free spirit, right? Not that I just like guys, if I talk about birth charts and whatnot, and applesauce and pork chops. I talk about them a lot. My two main signs are of Sun and Moon are Libra, which is all about partnership. but that is to seek, because because I'm free spirited. I still like to connect with others. It doesn't always mean romantically or, sensually, or, um biblically, it's like I always refer to it as win-win situations, right? Like where, like, hey, two people come together, like, I this is my problem, this is your problem. If we do this, both of our problems are lessened. That's what I refer to as a win-win situation. I love those in life. I love little interactions with people that aren't weird and like passive aggressively abusive that I'm imagining, from the public. Because that's the other thing, guys. Like, you can't imagine being me, and you witnessed what I experienced as far as these weird glitches in the matrix, so to speak, right? Of where it seems like people are very targeted in their speech towards me, right? One could say abusive, harassing, um, abusive and harassing. Yes, I it certainly feels that way for me. Now, if I was crazy and imagining it, I believe those who love and care about me and are very worried about my well-being and, not being murdered and such, they would pull me aside and say it in a caring way, like, Sam, I know that you are concerned that people gaslight you a lot and like tell you things that aren't true 99.9% of the time, but as a friend, like as a confidant, as somebody you trust, well, assuming we got to that point, you should maybe like see, maybe, yeah, no. So anyhow, imagine being me, like going to work. It's so inconsistent. That's my mental illness, right, guys? It's just fucking anxiety, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Otherwise, I never, guys. I used to like 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 I said, the irony is I've always been independent minded. I've never The only reason why I be okay, I've always been like an independent minded person. I've always been okay with being alone. I seek connecting with others because of that, but it doesn't mean staying with forever till death do us part. Like, excuse me, I'm okay with letting things be in a moment and then letting them go. I've mentioned that in my passive aggressive video, like I can live in a moment and let it be that, like I don't cling to it forever, and insist on reliving it, like that's whatever. It ain't me. So the irony is, like, yeah, like how this came to be, I don't know, but certainly, um I mean, at what point it would be insane to keep, to keep fighting. Um, so as far as me, like giving up, right? That's where I was going with this. My giving up currently in this situation, why I get so like lolly looly, like, like life is grand, all is well, or what? How it appears that way, like cool, calm, collected, when I have no fucking idea like what my life will be like, or where, who, what, where, when, why tomorrow, is because I wouldn't be dependent upon the how are you born independent minded and just independent, but your whole life struggle is to have to like become independent? How does that happen? Because truly, I wasn't that way when I was younger, guys. I could give you a little. I'll give you the gist here. But like, so currently dependent with me. Being dependent before meant being dependent on Joe because I had a son with him. So where I was going with the subsidized housing thing is he can play up that he was paying my rent, but the win-win situation in that was $66 a rent to me, Samantha, receive what, $580 or something like that in EBT benefits, which were going to, providing for him and Damon and myself. So technically, like, even though we were separated, on paper, all looked well, right? I had the apartment. Okay, I pay her rent. Yes, $66, douche, to get the my subtract that from the 580 in food that I was providing because of me being having my own apartment. like, and I would reiterate that to him, and like, yeah, agree, because I always want to make sure I'm not using people, so let's get that out of their world. Yes, Joe was paying my rent, but he was gaining from it, because having not have that EBT assistance, like, it hurts. It does, especially when you buy a house and you buy a duplex to cover you buy a duplex to uh, as a business plan, but you don't even charge the amount of rent to cover the mortgage. So I get, this is the kind of mindsets of people that I'm dealing with, guys. Okay, but I'm no mathologist or mathomology. Like, I never studied mathomology, so I can't say for sure, guys. You know what I mean? Like I say, I don't like to seem unfair. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose on this used Wendy's napkin. Pardon. But anyhow, so that still though is a tie. Most people in this world, or at least in my country, right, America, guys, like our my age range, we learn to. It's pretty much, in order to survive financially, you become dependent, take marriage. Like, it's pretty much the American dream is to become dependent upon somebody for one way or another, typically women upon men for finances. So that was never my style. Like, it's still not. So to have become that way is bizarre. But we're talking current times, and I'll give you the psych, right? I'm gonna sit on your guy's couch and tell you the psychological, like, what happened, how that happened. All right. So currently, so I learned after getting boot at housing, which I was dependent upon the state as well. Okay, and that's where I'm going with this. So after learn, okay, like, no more Joe. Which, by the way, he's dependent upon me because he's paying this phone bill of ours or whatever, but it's my name. It's my account. So if you're watching out there, Joe and Neglect, I can shut that shit down at any second. Maybe I should. So there's no attachment, okay? Because the only attachment that should be between us is Damon, and I don't get that. And so why the phone thing? Why can't you guys get phones in your own fucking name? But I can't see Damon. That's strange. That's strange. But anyhow, so that taught me that, like, oh my god, like, yeah. But in my defense, guys, as I mentioned in my Burlington, my Monster Magnet, like listening to Monster Magnet, all healthy and soberly and all that. It's just how life they gets you. I tells you they got me because you become a stay at home parent, and it was justified, guys. Mind you, too. This was in Tioga County, and if you don't have a license and vehicle in there, you're fucked to the max. And even you are when you do, but more so when you don't, you're really fucked to the, like, to the max. Like, storage space is like, oh, I got like 29.8 gigs of like 30 or something like that. Yeah, no, you got 30 filled up. Like, there ain't no more, there ain't no more gigabytes or megabytes or any of that stuff to be fucked up upon. That's where I was at. So anyhow, circumstances, right? Circumstances that just haunt me all the time. Just that good, because I don't give a shit, guys. Like, que sera, sera. Like, fuck, I don't responsibility. Like, that's for squares. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't me. I'm fucking, like, I don't give a shit. You see this? You don't see. I'm not wearing a leather jacket, but I do have one sitting in the back here. I don't give a shit, guys. I ain't no fucking square. So I don't fucking give a shit about responsibilities like that. All right. But like, yeah, so how did this happen? So currently, like, why I don't give a shit about my situation is because that's me totally not dependent upon the state anymore. And I would say the state is probably the biggest body you don't want to be dependent upon if you're independent. But it's a slippity rope, because then what? What's going, like, where I go, like, yeah, in theory being a vagabond is cool, right? Like, because you know me, like, again, you don't see that leather jacket, but it's there, just me and my live to ride to live to ride. That's always, if you don't know me, but if you don't know that's my fucking motto by now, you don't You don't know me, you don't know my name, you don't know my story, you're not paying attention to my words. You're paying attention to this, okay? And you're superficial because that's my fucking motto, guys. Just like, yeah, I just dream of going on my hog and just living to ride and riding to live. Like that's, in theory, yes, but no. Surprisingly, Samantha's pretty fucking like I no, you know, no. But if it's being for, I'm not gonna sit. I am not. I'm sorry. I told you, death before dishonor. I ain't gonna sit. You know what? I guess I'll be rambling to myself in the woods. Is it ideal? No, but eventually I'll find my way back. I ain't gonna sit there. That it's more insane to me to argue over like reality, guys, like facts. Like zero isn't one. No one ever said that. You didn't mistype it. There was no reason to ever have mistyped it, being it was a current number with a current case. You're lying, and this is what I deal with all the time. So why wouldn't I give up? But see, I don't know. Like other people's idea of giving up isn't like me. Like to me that's freedom because I'm not gonna tolerate that. To me that would be more insane to keep fighting. And that's why, world, if you are ever like witnessing people in these programs and such, like, oh yeah, they don't want to work, they don't want to, true for, like the jakes of the program, but there are a few of us who like really thought like on paper like these programs seem helpful. Yeah, those are the ones they fall in between the cracks, right? Like they get put in these situations because they don't give a shit, guys. Their families, they're just fucking. They were careless, they were rebels. They didn't give responsibility for that's for squares. I'll worry about that when I'm older. And their family, they're very loving, supportive families. Tried, to get them on the right track, and they're just like, "F you guys," you loving squares. Like I got this, and now they burned all their bridges, and they don't have family like that. So it's like only the government they have for some kind of like help. So yeah, like at some point, um, that's why I'm just carefree, que sera, sera. If I'm in the woods rocking a, no, it's not ideal, guys. I much prefer to have a place that I like to, that's decorated the way I like it, and consistent. And the one thing that I seek, and the irony of it all, guys, is how carefree and like like live to ride, ride to live life. I just always sought like a home. You know, that's where I've been riding all this time, just searching for a home. Like you guys didn't even ask. Like nobody asked me, like, why are you so free, Sam? Like where are you riding? Like where are you riding to? Just wherever the wind takes me. Yeah, a home. I've been looking for a home because there ain't no fucking stability in this life of mine that these last 37 years that I've lived. So yeah, how one can be born truly, truly independent, right? Like I mean independent to the max, to the point where it bugs people who aren't, is you get caught up in this weird thing I keep bringing up on my channel called narcissistic parental abuse. And when you are the target of the main one of your family, the head of your family who is one, and you are the head of the family, like the only other outside family member aside from men, you, you got that narcissistic those them fangs clenched to you, okay? Like you ain't going nowhere, you ain't right. Where do you think you're riding off to be all free like? So guys, so see this pattern starts because really what it comes down to was I was dependent upon by a parent. I was a parent to a parent, a narcissistic one. Okay, because of my independent, structured nature, this warm, sunny, like safe vibe that people don't get from being around me. Yeah, the opposite. When I'm not being scary and like just shitty and not caring, right? When I'm not, or being just wackadoo. When I come to your reality, and the sensical reality, yes, I'm this protective, like problem solving. I've referred to MacGyver kind of Sam because that is a fact. So I've always been a parent to parent. Only of course when it was then I was whatever. Point is this: independent minded, born. Just every atom in my being and makeup was independent. But it became so I wasn't necessarily dependent upon a parent. Uh, quite contrary, as I like to say, quite opposite. I was dependent upon. Okay, which makes you, especially as a child, want to run away because that's a lot of stress on somebody that doesn't, and they're not even aware yet, but they are feeling the effects of that role. So first chance I got, like first like real boyfriend I got, guys, when I was 16. I told you I dropped out and all that stuff, which is what I always wanted to do anyway, because it's the rebel. I don't fucking I just wanted to I get A's, and what but I still don't give a shit. I ain't no fucking square. I'm gonna drop a bomb and drop out. I'm like Sam ain't no fucking nerd. You know, but like yeah. So first chance I got to like that's how the whole thing starts, guys. Like these relationships that people find themselves in. Usually they're trying to run away from like this, yeah, codependent relationship, but it starts off with them being the one depended upon when they're not supposed to be in that role. So they're running away, and they take the they sell their soul. That's not what they think it is, but you end up with the first. I mean, the odds of finding like a healthy relationship at 16 with some guy that's willing, his parents are willing to let you live there with him, that whole kind of thing, guys. Like, and then it talks troubled lad. I found myself, we just strangely were somehow, as the fates would have it, someone like myself coming from my background, we just so happened to fall in love and be attracted to each other, having kind of similar backgrounds. How that would be, I don't know. That sounds just romantical. Nothing is written in the stars, guys. Okay, it's just it's just luck of the draw. Um, so then I fell into a toxic relationship with Chris. I've mentioned him on my channel. No disrespect to him. It's just that's the pattern, and that's how it's like and then I would become they almost force you to become like a codependent. It's like, oh, it bugs people when you're like free, when you don't need others like that. I don't know why, guys. It does. It bothers people who are like that. And for me, it's like I'm not saying you'll never get the satisfaction of hearing me say I need any of yous. That's why I can keep going the way I do with like no support on my channel. you know, you ain't gonna wreck my confidence. Clearly somebody would like they'd be coming to get me at this point and put me away if I was that insane. But here you are just allowing me to be, and it's like you guys really do care, don't you? Like, you're not mad, you ain't gonna mess with me. You can't trick me. You're never gonna gaslight me for negative. Like I'm used to people having crushes on me that turn to to rage. So it'll be our little secret world that you just start crushing on me. You don't want to hurt my feelings or anything, but yeah, if I was truly insane to that point where this world keeps trying to convince me of, I would be locked up, guys. Like, because the image that of the Sam that there is trying to be painted is like truly out of my mind. Like I just ain't seeing things the same way you are. True, but you would think, right? But like I said, I'm a gal of reason. I believe I like to see like, hey, like really the common denominator in this situation is like Sam, like how can a whole world be incorrect, right? Like 0 and 1, say, right? Like how does that happen? Like a whole world agrees, like, yeah, no, 0 and 1 are interchangeable, Sam. And I'm like, it is? Like I thought that was the point of numbers. It would seem like I'm the problem there, right? By all means, by all scientific, like reasoning. And again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a mathologist. I don't have any piece of paper, guys. I don't have any piece of paper to prove how smart I am. But yeah, like I feel like, you know, um, I'd be there. So, or and same for all this like collective of people who are on YouTube but homeless. You know, like what's going on with what's up with that? You know, it's bizarre. Like, why don't you government, since you can't admit your wrongdoings into this collective, into this world about this collective, why don't you make our own? I said, like, make it. I'm fine. Send us to an island, you know, instead of paying all these different states, all these different like government assistant like programs to like make up for your wrongdoings to us. Why don't you just use that money in one lump sum and build us a fucking island somewhere? Samoan Islands or something. Don't you own that, America? But you know the people aren't citizens there or something. Like, yeah, just throw us over there. You'd be good. It's like I don't even need. You can be those tiny homes that you see now. You know what I'm saying? I don't even need forget 2 level because I don't even want a 2 level house, guys. That is a lot of work. It really is, especially once you've had Lyme like me. You know, you had it. Um, it affects your like muscles and shit. You know, like you don't want to walk up the stairs for shit all the like just one floor, simple gal, one floor, one roof. You know, one name, one social security number, one identity. I'm not a complicated gal. You know, that's all I need. And I think most of this collective would agree that I speak of, that are in these similar situations. I know some of them are bullshitting, yeah. And I think I used to have a problem with this one channel that was calling out TIs, right? Like, you know, but I think you're doing it. I'm not going to say the channel's name, but because I used to feel attacked, because I'm like, but they are real. I tell you, yeah, they are. We are real. But there's people going about it in a way that I don't know. I don't know. I think it's to make some of us look the real ones look crazy, you know? And hey, what fucking world would you think that like I'm not? You know? I don't know. I would say. But yeah, like so guys, like that's why I'm so flaky, right? You know, it's like cuz yeah, like how does that happen in life? You know, like I started off like I said academic, right? You know, academic. I did do ballet for a little bit. I was in band. I was in Odyssey of the Mind. I did get my real estate sales license in New Jersey, guys. I can show you. Here, let me show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. Hang on. It's expired now, but the fact is I did do it. Where's that paper? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, guys, I had my real estate sales license. I got my driver's license right when I was able to turn right when I was able to turn the age it was to take it, and I passed. I passed my real estate sales exam first try because I worked for that construction company I told you about. I really hope. Okay, this is streaming, right? Okay. Because I'm so like not tech savvy, but it is annoying when people are always like messing with you. Like again, it's not always me, okay, and it's not always you, invisible you. I'm just saying. But yeah, guys, like yeah, certainly I would not like. That's why anybody. Oh yeah, I don't want to work or like you know I just want to leech off the system. Fucking the hell I do. You know. That's you know I know that's not like that sounds like a square thing to say, right? But or something or whatever character Sam like whoever it sounds unlike Sam, right? To say that. You know, I just want to live to ride to live. I don't want no responsibilities, and it's the government's responsibility to make sure I'm covered. You know that I'm fucking well fed and shit on this journey of living to ride and riding to just riding. Just riding, looking for a home, looking for some form of stability and sanity is what I'm riding for. And the leather jacket isn't to prevent fucking like scrapes in a metaphoric kind of sense. Yes, not literally, because I'm not really riding, guys. If you haven't figured it out by now, right? That's just another fucking character that's made up about me. But anyhow, yeah, how does this happen? Like, I'm going to school. Um, like I said, pretty much maintaining a near perfect grade point average. In the very beginning, on top of dealing with a toxic, now I told you, tied in with this Chris, right? Like a toxic love relationship, on top of adding drugs into the mix. And I'm still somehow more functional than I am now, right? Like functional, right? So how the fuck does that happen? And it ain't from the drugs because I stopped them in rewind to like 2015 when I had my son Damon. I had my shit together then too. I was assistant manager at Goodwill. I was cleaning the house on my days off, like that kind of mom. I always made sure the condiments in the fridge were fucking up to date. Anything grabbed in that fridge was edible. Okay, like I was all the things that I dreamed that I thought were impossible growing up. Okay, so again, like this painted it like it's just so redonkulous. So yeah, like how I can be a flake is because look at the world accusing me of being such. And like we're really gonna sit there and argue about zero and one guys like that they're different. I ain't got the time for it. If I'm the one that's insane, then happy trails. But where is this? I just want to show you guys, to show you how I don't just make shit up, and I pretty much keep record, as I've said, of everything because like I said, when you're the victim of parental narcissistic abuse, you just learn to be an attorney, guys. Yeah, no, I never went to law school or anything, like, believe it or not, right? Like, it's weird. That's why I joke about knowing the law. Like, you guys take shit like you think I can't. I shan't even with yous. I shan't even with ye. I don't have the time. I just want to get some things off my chest because like it might be a while, guys. If I go Blair Witch style, right? Like, well, here's my GED. Here's my GED, guys. You guys get the lighting kind of sucks, huh? Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Let's see what I scored. I even have the scoring still, guys. I'm crazy, like look, when you got to prove zero is different than one, you keep everything. Joe used to hate me. Joe used, excuse me, get kind of annoyed for that. Like, why do you keep everything? There you go. There's your answer, Joe. You should already know that. Cover your ass, as I've mentioned before, even though it doesn't matter because people will just gaslight it's not. Like, okay, but we're literally, I mean, that's the point I'm at. That's the world that I'm in, guys, and I'm over it. Okay? That's why I don't give a shit about it. Like, how can she not care? Like, why is she so carefree, right? At some point, it would be more insane to care. You're living in that world. But let's see these scores. Um, okay, so writing skills. Standard score. Standard is 760. Percent rate 99. So I was 99% in my writing skills. In my social studies, I scored 580, which is 79%. Social studies, if we're talking like, that's pretty good you know, given my, I had to study social social studies, right? I had to learn. I'm a book. Oh yeah, yeah. They read a book and then they're an expert. Yeah, like that would be me for like social skills, like some form of alien. Like, hey, this is social. This is this is social studies, right? Like, yeah, I did have to study that in a book, guys. I don't. I did. I'm not gonna lie. So considering a 79 ain't too bad. But like science, I got 590, which is 82%. Reading, I got 700, which is 98%. Mathematics. I don't know if that's different than mathomology. I I don't know, but I got a 590, and that's 82%. I don't know if I don't know what that equals. Mathematicians, like um, field. But as far as like numbers go and just like math, yeah, that's good. Okay. So, yeah, that was my GED. Now, where the fuck's my fucking. I know I have it. I swears. I tells you. I swears. I was just organizing, and this is why I like. Why does Sam have like a suitcase full of documents? It doesn't seem to help guys when you have proof, but certainly it helps me. Like my mind, like okay, yeah, no, this was reality. Okay, in a court of law, depending on where this court is taking place, will factual documents, from the past help, aka evidence, you would think, right? But again, everything's open to interpretation and argument, guys, and debate. Everything is up for debate. Every word that is spoken or expressed. So that statement right there can go on for weeks. That's what's it's just tiring. But you gotta be fair in life. You gotta be fair. You gotta be fair to you know um people. I don't know. But yeah, check this out, guys. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, that was like when I passed and they printed this, right? Thank God you can't really see that picture. But yeah, like when was all this? This is New Jersey salesperson, conditional temporary letter of authority. But yeah, I did have this was 2006, 4/10/2006. Funnily, I listened to Ti. What you know about that? What you know about that? I know as I was driving to take my real estate this test. I was like, yeah, like I'm like, like heart, like don't tell anybody. Like I'm a nerd, right? But I'm like a nerd, but badass nerd. Like I'm a fucking just like Ti said. Doesn't he say a sweat like a um I'll grab your collar quick, but listen to the words of that song, okay? Listen to the song. What you know about that? That's what I listened to get my real estate sales license. I passed my real estate sales license. That's what I used to pump me up, guys. While I drove my boyfriend's Lincoln, Lincoln, Lincoln to take it. Or no, I think I did. I have my Impala by then. I don't know. At one point, I even had a brand new car, guys. I had after my questionable my chick magnet after my chick magnet Monte Carlo LS 1984 LS. I did have my other only other car was a 2006 Chevy Impala. So no, I guess I wouldn't have had it yet. I got that in August, so shortly after this, my real estate sales. So yeah, guys, like I mean, clearly I had to been following some person's form of like reality and facts, right? In order to take a test, like you have to study for it, right? In order to study for it, you have to memorize facts. In order to memorize facts, they have to remain the same and consistently in like the time frame that you're studying. And I've proven that I've proven over and over again, like, back then, back then hoes didn't want me. So reality like stayed consistent, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like facts were facts back then. So that's why I was able to like, maintain like, um, you know, facts and like, maintain, you know, not responsible guy. No, that was all right. All right. I made this up. I just want because I'm bad to the bone. I'm bad to the bone. I don't give a shit. I just live where the wind takes me, guys, right? Because I like if you know anything about me, I love living that way from birth. It's just for it's like I know no other way. It's like when you're in the big house for so long and you're finally free. What do I do with this freedom? Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with like liberation. You know what I'm saying? I like insane. I like at this point, I think I would I spontaneously combust from the silence of sanity? Um, maybe this is all for my protection, guys. But yeah, I just want to come on here like my last supper, because I might not see you guys for a while. I may not see you because I might literally be in the woods tomorrow. I could be in the woods. I could be on a traveling train, like Pee Wee style. I could be in a carnival. I could be anywhere. The world is my oyster. So most likely it won't have internet at the very least, not like consistently, and it really hasn't anyway. So, que sera, sera, But like, yeah, I just wanted to like point those things out there on my last supper because you know I just don't know what tomorrow holds, and really neither should any of you because like zero could tomorrow could be yesterday, right? Like tomorrow by really like what I've learned, guys, is like I joke, right? And I say I'm carefree and like this badass, like, just you can't plan a second ahead because a second ahead could be 10 days prior to tomorrow. It could be 1986. I don't know. Like it really could if we're going by like zero isn't one, or one isn't zero, or it is. So just like careful, guys. Like yeah, just like how you can prevent this insanity. I have yet to discover. So for my sane friends out there in the world who just want to like cross streets to go to the programs that they're supposed to, or like handle their responsibilities and not get hassled by the police, and like then somehow I don't know. I'm just hoping, like, maybe by me sharing some things, like, I help others, at the very least, like, this carefreeness of mine wasn't in vain, right? But yeah, like live streaming, I'm not a fan. I kind of am a fan because one, nobody comes on here anyway. And it's certainly like easier than dealing with like upload like story. I can't do this tech thing anymore, guys. I can't because even that doesn't make sense. And I thought the whole point of tech, like, yeah, there's glitches, right? But there's still supposed to be some kind of like consistency in it. Like that's what I thought the whole point of tech was for, and even that's falling to shit. So like, fuck off. I can't. I shan't even with ye. Till next time.